The last topic which we studied is the triggering methods, that is the different turning on methods of SCR. Now we study turn off mechanism of SCR, like how we can turn off the SCR. The transition of SCR from the forward conduction state to a forward blocking state is called as a turn off or a commutation of SCR. The another word for the turn off mechanism of SCR is also called as a commutation of SCR. There are again two types of turn off methods. We know there are three modes of operation of SCR: reverse blocking mode, forward blocking mode and forward conduction mode. So when the SCR move from the forward conduction mode to a forward blocking mode, that state we are calling it as a turn off or a commutation of SCR. The term commutation means the transfer of current from one path to another, that we see in the graph. Why we are saying it as a transfer of current from one path to another, that is from this graph. The anode current is reduced to a zero and again it is flowing in the reverse direction. That term is nothing but a transfer of current from one path to another is nothing but a commutation. As we know that SCR starts conducting, the gate has no control over it to bring back to forward blocking or off state. In the VI characteristics of SCR, that is by applying a gate pulse. When we apply the gate current, then SCR will start conducting without taking a large voltage. That is from VI characteristics that we studied. So what they are saying here is the SCR once starts on means it has no control to come back to off. The gate has no control. So gate we are using only for starting purpose, for in case of SCR. To turn off the SCR, the current must be reduced to a level below the holding current of SCR. So what we are studying here is in order to make a SCR to off state, we must reduce the anode current, that is the current which is flowing through all three junctions J1, J2, J3. So that current must be reduced to below the holding current. So there are two types of important current, the latching current and the holding current. So the latching current is the current that will flow normally in the SCR when it is on state. The holding current is a minimum current that below, if we reduce that one, then SCR will off. So in order to turn off the SCR, the current level must be reduced to a below holding current of SCR. If we apply the forward voltage immediately after the current 0, it start conducting ion without a gate triggering. So why we are saying here, what they are telling here is, when we make a anode current, if we make a anode current to a 0, so there are two types of currents are there, the latching as well as a holding current. If the anode current is reduced below the holding current, then SCR will turn off. That is turn off method, the one condition. But if we reduce that anode current below the holding current and even immediately after that if I apply the anode to cathode voltage, then it immediately start conducting. That is, it won't need a gate pulse at all, as well as it won't need a VBO. The large voltage is also not required for this to start. Remember the VI characteristics, whatever we studied. Here, see in the in this graph, as you can see, Ig1 and Ig2 as well as Ig3 are the currents that we applied. If we apply the gate pulse, then it will take a less amount of voltage. So the amount of voltage at this current is less compared to the amount of voltage at this current. So this is the holding as well as this is latching current. If the current is reduced below this holding current, then SCR will turn off. At the immediately if I increase the voltage, so after reducing the current below this holding current, and if I apply the forward voltage again immediately after that, then again it will start conducting. The reason is because of the presence of charge carriers in all 4 layers of SCR. Therefore, it is necessary to apply the reverse voltage over a finite time across the SCR to remove the charge carriers which are present in all 4 layers. So, along with making the anode current below the holding current, we need to apply the reverse voltage to turn off the SCR. Why we need to give the negative voltage to the SCR? Immediately if I make a anode current to 0, and immediately after that if I switch give the voltage, it will start conducting. So to avoid that is a false way of starting the SCR. There is a proper methods of starting SCR. So if I give a voltage and it will start immediately conducting, means that is it won't show the actual property of SCR. That's a false method. So in order to avoid that, we need to, along with the anode current making 0, we need to apply the voltage that is in the reverse direction for a finite time. Hence, the turn off time is defined as the time between the instant anode current becomes 0 and the instant at which the SCR retains the forward blocking capability. So you will get to know after we explain this graph properly. So in the first stage, what happens? The excess charge carriers from the outer layers are removed, and in the second stage, that is from T1 to T3, that we are calling it as the first stage, and T3 to T4 here. So this is first stage and this part is second stage. In the first stage, excess carriers from the outer layers are removed, and in the second stage, excess carriers from the inner layers are removed. Hence, the total turn off time TQ is divided into 2 intervals, that is TRR plus TQR. That is over here. You can see TRR and TQR is a total turn off time of a SCR. The time T1 to T3, this one. The time T1 to T3 till here called as a reverse recovery time. At the instant T1, the anode current is 0. You can see here the anode current is 0 at the time T1 and builds up in reverse direction, which is called as a reverse recovery current. It will increase in reverse direction. So this current is a reverse recovery current. This current removes excess charge carriers from the outer layers, that is from T1 to T3 in the junction, that is PN. So J1, J2, J3. So in this time, whatever the reverse current flowing in the SCR, that is from T1 to T3, it will remove the excess charge carriers from T1 outer layers, that is junction J1 and J3. At instant T3 over here, the junction J1 and J3 are able to block the reverse voltage, but SCR is not yet able to block the forward voltage due to the presence of excess charge carriers in junction J2. So, in this time period, the excess charge carriers from the junction J1 and J3 are removed, but it is not able to block the forward voltage due to the presence of excess charge carriers in junction J2. So in order to avoid this, these charge carriers can be disappeared only by the way of recombination, and this could be achieved by maintaining the reverse voltage across the SCR. So what it says in this point, what we are explaining here is at junction J1 to J3, whatever the reverse current, because of this reverse current, the junction J1 and as well as junction J3, they are able to block the reverse voltage. They have capability. If I apply the reverse voltage, means they can block, but junction J2 is not still it is not able to block the forward voltage. So for that reason we need to apply the reverse voltage for the particular time, that is from time t3 to t4. Hence during the time t3 to t4 the recombination of charge takes place, and at that time instant, that is t4, the junction J2 completely recovers. This time is called a gate recovery time. So this time we are saying it as a gate recovery time. So here whatever the time t1 to t3 is for junction J1 and junction J3. So from t3 to t4 this is for junction J2. So there we have a gate. So for that reason we are calling it as a gate recovery time. So we know the diode same as a if you are already studied the base in your basic electronics, the characteristics of a diode. So diode is a unidirectional device. So if we apply the AC pulse to a diode means, as soon as we apply the AC pulse and when it reaches to 0, it should off, but it won't off immediately because of the presence of charge carriers. So it will take some time for it to recover. The same thing is happening in SCR also. If I apply the zero current and reverse voltage, so it will take some time. So whatever the process which is taking place between the time t1 to t4, that is from here to here, so entire thing immediately if I make my anode current to 0 means it won't turn off because of the presence of charge carriers. So it will take a time. So that time is in terms of nanosecond. Immediately in a fraction of a second it will happen. So that is explained in the T1 to T3, that is recovery time, and TGR is a gate recovery time. So what we can say, to turn off the conducting SCR, the following conditions must be satisfied. The first one is the forward current of SCR, this current, the forward current of SCR must be made to 0. That is, here we are making it to a 0, and sufficient reverse voltage we are applying. That is from here, you can refer in the below graph. A reverse voltage is applied for a junction J2 to disappear the charge carriers which are present in the junction J2. In order to remove those things, we need to apply the negative voltage for a particular time period. So we need, along with the making anode current 0, we need to apply the voltage in the reverse direction to turn off the SCR completely. So why immediately it won't stop? Because of the presence of minority as well as a majority charge carriers. So it will take some time, and after that it will come to a forward blocking state. So this state is nothing but a forward blocking state. So after this it will be in a forward blocking mode. So there are two methods of commutation. The first one is the forced commutation and the second one is the natural commutation.